All right, are you ready for another Wii mod? September 2nd, Black Wii mod, GameCube compatible. This mod will come with a 1 terabyte Intel SSD. This Wii remote, nunchuck, brand new GameCube controller. Let's get right to it. The DVD drive does work. You'll see the Batman game. DVD drive does work and it's really quiet. So you see that did work. Let me eject this disc before I forget and leave it in there, because I have been known to do that. Moving right along. The Wii games will be played from the USB Loader GX. It's almost 300 games on this since it's a 1 terabyte drive. This also has the Super Smash Remix. It's normal for it to take a few seconds to load up. You see 292 games. It's about 80 gigs free on this drive. The game list will be in the description in the pictures. For the Super Smash Remix, all you have to do is start it like normal. You have access to like 100 characters right off the bat. If you're buying this mod, you're probably already familiar with the Super Smash mod. It's totally normal for the Super Smash mod to take this long. It's about 25 seconds to load up initially. There's a 32 gig SD card in there. It's only for the Super Smash mod. If you don't want to play the Super Smash mod, you can take the SD card out and do something else with it. But if you take the SD card out, the Super Smash mod will not work. There's nothing else on the SD card except the Super Smash mod. Everything else is on the hard drive. Cool thing about this is I think all the players, once you select a player, I think pressing A and B will change the skin on the player. So like all these players have like multiple skins right off the bat. And I'm not a Super Smash guy, I'm more of a kart guy, so I won't embarrass myself by trying to play. Moving right along to play the Atari 2600. Hold the remote like such, press A. Scroll to push down to ROMs, press A. Scroll to the game you want. In this case, I usually get Space Invaders. Once you play a game and exit and come back, it should save with the last game that you played. So you won't have to do this every time. Press A. Turn the controller sideways, press plus, and play the game. To exit, press home. Choose a different game, play a game. To exit again, press home again. Moving right along. It's common for the controller to lose connection with the Wii every time you exit an emulator and transition from one emulator to the next. That's common. It bugs some people, but it's normal. Nintendo, original Nintendo. Okay, so all these games are in folders in alphabetical order. If you go up too far, if you're seeing all this stuff, just go back to FCEUGX. That's the Nintendo emulator, go to ROMs. And alphabetical. Cool thing is that you have some mods, some custom made games, some mods. You have some extra stuff that you couldn't normally. You see that Super Mario World Hack, Mario World 9, Adventure Island, etc., etc. Also, any game that you start, the Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance stuff and the Super Nintendo are all three, you navigate these all three the same. As soon as you're in a game, if you press the home button, it'll bring up some options. You can save a game. If you're going to save a game, I would recommend saving it in a new state. You can see previous states were saved here. If you want to load a game save, game state, go to load, go to your whichever game state you would like to save or to load, and click that. And it's flickering because I'm too close to the sensor bar. But you see this game state where I've already completed the first level, second level. So you get the gist of it. Anytime you want to save the game state, you can save it anywhere, even if you're in mid-jump. You just press home, the home button. It says save, and this is no data to save successful. But I would, if I were you, I would manually do a save, do new state, save successful, and now you see a third state there. You can also delete your game saves states by going to the delete and then picking the one and deleting it. So if you have too many there, or you don't want to have a bunch of them there, if you just want to go with one. So the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and the visual Game Boy Advance stuff will all be navigated and saved in this manner. But I will also show you that the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance stuff does work. Again, the controller will lose connection in between switching from emulator to emulator. And you'll see this also has a bunch of custom hacks, custom games. That stuff's fun to play if you've already beat the original game and you're bored with it or whatever, you want to have some new. It's like playing a new game all over again. This game you also hold sideways, press plus, and 2 when you get to your game. To exit, press home. And you can see there's a game state from before. Moving right along, going to N64. For this, we're going to use the GameCube controller. You'll see that it automatically recognizes it as player 1. The Wii remote gets bumped to player 2. We're going to load the ROM. We're going to load from FAT because that's the hard drive format is FAT. Navigate to your game. You can also do the shoulder buttons to next, left and right, next. And then when you find the game, like Mario Kart, press A. And play your game. You see it had autosave featured, enabled. Press start button. You don't need me to tell you that. You played this game your whole life, probably. When you want to exit, get your Wii remote, press the home button. My bad, it's the... I'm forgetting how to exit now. So hit the reset button on the console. That will bring you back to this menu, my bad. See, you had the autosave enabled. Settings, I wouldn't mess with that unless you know what you're doing. You can really mess up the audio, the video screen particularly. When you want to exit, go to quit, press A. Actually, also going to use this for the GameCube. Again, you see that flickering, that's because the remote's too close to the sensor bar. Choose the USB, not the SD. There's nothing on the SD card again, except for the mod for the Super Smash Wii part. Press A. I'm going to double check our settings by pressing B. We want to make sure that the memory card emulation is on for memory saves. And go down to video, make sure our Force NTSC is on there. Home is back, and USB load again. This list will be in the description and the pictures. I'm just going to get the Mario Double Dash. FYI, if you want, you can also use a manual memory card. If you still have one, it will still recognize it. Manual, a physical memory card. You can get third-party ones for like $5 or $10 online. exit, you actually need to press the power button on the console to exit out of GameCube completely. That's the only one you have to do this on. Sometimes the controller works for as far as exit, but it's something with a Wii mod. It's hit or miss. I don't know why. But moving right along, Game Boy Advance. You hear that tick, 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 tick? That's some kind of theme thing that goes along with this. I don't know why they chose that. First time I ever played it, I thought it was broken. So you see that does work, and navigate the same way. Tick, 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 tick. I was like, oh no, something's broke, that's not right. But it's actually normal for the theme for that emulator. On the 7800, you'll hold the remote upright, just like with the 2600. As you can see, it's lost connection in between emulators. And now it's got it again. Press load. Excuse me, they're in alphabetical order. If you want to go to the other ones, you go to that's the folder up. You go down to, I like Robotron. Then you would turn your remote this way. Press 2. When you want to exit, press home button. You can go to load a cartridge, load up another game if you'd like. Ninja Golf is on here, and that's awesome too. Definitely check that out. I think Ninja Golf's on here, right? Anyway, exit. Go to the Sega. This is pretty easy to do. Load your game. The only emulators on here are the Master System and the Mega Drive. These other 3 system games are not on here. So eventually what you'll do is just go to your recent, and you can see where I played Frogger and Ace of Aces. But if you click on the Master System and it says no games not found, you just want to go to the previous directory, click on the Master Drive, which is what this is. Master System would be MS, and Mega Drive would be MD. But typically, when you press the home button to go back, typically you come to your recents, and you see how there's a little screenshot for each one. If there's not a screenshot and you want a screenshot there, you don't need the screenshot to play the game, but if you want it there and it bugs you, I'll show you how to do that right quick. Once the game is started, press the home button to pause it, and then go over to the shot over there on the far right and click that. Anyway, to play on the Sega, you'll use your controller like this in a horizontal position. Press plus, start the game. To exit, press home. then you can load a different game, or you can just exit. The Sega also has autosave feature built in and support for 2 players. That covers all the emulators and the DVD drive. Here's some WiiWare, Wii Shop games. I'll just scroll through these right quick. Lost Winds. Lost Winds 2. Cool thing about the WiiWare games is they are designed, if you will, they're made, they're built, designed, however you want to say it, to be played on the Wii. So like the resolution is different, the resolution's up to par, it's not, and it's designed for that, so it's not like hit or miss like an emulator can be sometimes. It's not flaky at all. And in any of the games, if you run across enough games, among thousands and thousands of games, eventually you'll get to an emulator game. It's kind of flaky. I know we got a Galaga ROM that it's supposed to go, it doesn't go to the 255 levels on Galaga, it only goes to like 37 on one of the ROMs, which it is what it is. But I mean, that's a ton of game playing time, but still, it only goes to level 37. Anyway, that's it for the Wii mod. Thank you.